Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another Sunday night live show. 12 brilliant games in Sky Bet League One, 11 with goals in it. Again, can't wait for a fun-filled evening of discussing it. But to join me, we are not alone. Let's bring him in. No cutting about. Hello, Jake. How are we doing?
Oh, mate, it's always good when Lincoln win, isn't it? No, yeah, good, mate. I've had a good weekend. Obviously, met up with Farley and the chaps yesterday for a beer. Watched Lincoln get 3 points and got out of there. And then, it's been good, mate. This is the first I have my new car this week, so that's been nice. I can show that to you somehow from my roof later on. But yeah. No, good, mate. Very good. How was your weekend? You went down to the Wombles, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a long day, put it that way. Getting up at 4 a.m. in a rush for Oasis tickets, and little by little, I managed to find myself 4 tickets. And after it, I have a couple of dirty eyes on me at the football for getting these tickets. And he's moaning on me. I just go, mate, stop crying your heart out.
Yeah.
You know,
Did you tell your auntie and uncle to stand by me when you were saying I'm in the queue for tickets? Just stand by.
And then
me.
and then I did say to her, I went, look, mate, you'll see them one day. You know.
Yeah.
But no, if you enjoyed that part of the vlog the other day, if you didn't clock on, I was challenged to try and get 10 or more Oasis songs into my vlog. I managed to get 14 in. But tonight is all about League One. We're going to come to the comments. If you do want to comment, all you need to do to join in is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe, it's free to do, so just press that and you can press it all you want. So after yesterday's game, got me thinking, what is everyone's worst away game club you won't visit? Forest Green by a country mile.
Ooh. One away day that I won't do again.
Well, I say that I'll go to every game, but I don't want to do again.
Yeah, the one that I don't, if I can help it, I don't enjoy doing is MK Dons. It's such an awful away day.
Birmingham getting a win yesterday, which we'll come to. Great to see the winning machine working again. Can see and hear you both. Hello, Thomas. I hope you're well. Hey, Ben. Hey, Jake. Hope you're well. Thank you for joining the chat. Hello, Luke. I hope you're well. Shane, what a guy has come in with a £6.66p donation. Massively appreciate it. My mate Jack Kershaw has come in as well.
You mean Aaron Morley?
He doesn't look anything like Aaron Morley, boy. He doesn't look anything like Aaron Morley. What do you think of Birmingham? 17 signings. We'll come on to that as well. Evening Jabs, great result for the Imps. Oh, for God's sake. And top goal scorers in League 1, 2. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Great. It's brilliant, isn't it? I thought the referee robbed them. I thought the referee should have given 75 penalties in Stevanage's face. By the way, before we come to this, now, Jake asked me, penalty or no penalty, he sent the clip over. He went, absolutely not a penalty.
Yeah,
now, if this was the other way around, Jake, and you'd lost that game, we all know.
Hold on.
The show going, no, it's fuming. The referees cost us. No, don't show it. Copyright, lad. Copyright.
Adam Jackson's foot on the ball. Not a penalty.
Right. Let's go for it. Now, I tell you what, it's been a weird weekend in Sky Bet League One when Shrewsbury, and I repeat, Shrewsbury winning a game of football is first on the running order of the show. Shrewsbury is their first win since March the 16th. Can you guess who they beat on March 16th?
Oh. Carlisle.
Correct.
Get out. Was that right? Is that actually right?
Yeah, it is right. Castelline with a great goal. A lot of family, famous relatives as well. John Terry coming on his Instagram post after the game as well. O'Reilly getting an assist. Lloyd assist. Blocks from coming off the bench, getting 2 goals. Good goals as well. The second one was out of this world. The third one was a typical striker's finish, and he's already bettered last season's total. Now, Leyton Orient did start last season slowly, if you remember. They only got 1 point from the first 4, lost the first 3, got a point away at Blackpool, drawing the game 0-0. 0.19 expected goals yesterday, 1 shot in the second half. The last 6 meetings, they've won against Shrewsbury. This one, they got hammered in. Their next kind of games coming up, they've got Reading, Stockport, Wrexham all in the mix as well. What did you make of this one? Great result for Shrewsbury. Great response. 3 goals, 3 points, clean sheet.
Yeah, it wasn't something I was expecting when we saw the fixture list come out for this weekend. But yeah, great first one of the season for Shrewsbury, like you say. I thought it was really interesting. I took a look at the match ratings. Normally, when a team wins 3-0, you get maybe 2 or 3 standout players, but every single Shrewsbury player, apart from Alex Gilead, who was making his debut, had a rating of at least 7, which sort of shows you that everyone across the board played pretty well. Like you say, Castledine coming on and scoring, set up by Tommy O'Reilly. It's a great third-man run from Castledine and a lovely finish as well. Those 2 players are going to be huge for them, those 2 loanees, which is why we're sort of maybe worried that they might get recalled in January if they continue to play the way they do. Tom Bloxham Nappers is someone that's been around the Shrewsbury team since the COVID season, if you can remember, making his debut in the EFL Trophy in 2020. He went out on loan last year, 2 goals, 4 assists in 31 games for Morecambe. But that second goal was fantastic. And then I thought the third one was actually really good because he gambles on the header going his way. And it's a really nice finish past Hemmings. Paul Hurst pointed out in his post-match interview that he was really impressed with the defensive side of the game from Shrewsbury. And that's something we thought they were going to struggle with this season, given the names on paper. But yesterday was an absolute improvement for them. For Orient, too many bystanders. Jamie Donnelly, I hate to single players out, but looked really poor. The young lad from Tottenham didn't. They're just missing that creative spark in midfield, aren't they? At the moment, but Richard Wellens branded it as the worst performance since he took over the O's. Clearly unhappy with the players. Clearly unhappy with the performances. And look, they go into the international break that they're going to have to hit the reset button, aren't they, at the moment later on, because they're not playing well at all.
Can I just say, Jake has been on these shows for 3 years now, and this is the first time I've actually heard him use a statistic and he's done some prep. Christ, you must not either have a girlfriend or 2. Oh. I'm on a show with Josh here. I tell you what, the boy's prepared. Go on. If you could like the stream, that would be massively appreciated as well. Thank you to the 97 people in. Just a comment, subscribe down below. Free to do so. Now, Blackpool 2, Wycombe 2. Correct. Blackpool have now scored 8 goals in their last 2, and they've had 16 shots on target in their last 2 games. They had 5 in their first 2 under manager Neil Critchley. Again, 2-2 for Kyle Joseph. He only got 1 last year as well. Good to see him scoring. Evans was outstanding. He blocked one off the line, got 2 assists. I thought the second assist was fantastic. He gets the ball onto his favoured foot, puts a wand of a ball in, and gets onto the head of Jake Beasley. It's a great finish for him, and he's scored 7 in 29 last year. He's a good player. For Blackpool, he's been needed for them. He gives them height, and Blackpool have got the most long balls in the division. They like getting it, up towards the Ballards, the Fletchers, and Kyle Joseph running on in behind pockets. And Blackpool are a very direct team. They do like to play out from the back, but get balls out wide and balls into the box. Why wouldn't you when you've got the players that you've got? Behind twice in the game, a great response for the Seasiders. I thought Dan Udo's goal was fantastic. He scored 10 goals in 40 last season as well. Wycombe, typical mid-table side so far, 13th in expected goals, 12th in shots on target. Got a cup final win over Rotherham last week, which was one of the best results they'll get this season. If you to ask Steve Evans, a good point away at Blackpool, which again will only add to them as well. They've got a good record against Blackpool recently as well. Blackpool haven't beaten Wycombe in their last 9 meetings. Again, good game this, 4 goals in it, late drama, Udo up and running, Blackpool good. However, 2 points from the first 4 when you've played Crawley, Stockport, Cambridge away, Wycombe at home. You'd probably be expecting more.
Yeah, I was impressed by Blackpool actually, Ben, and the chances they created. I think Keogh's taken them away slightly from this 3-5-2, which Critchley had them playing. He's moved it into more of a 3-4-3, which for me, you've got either side of Fletcher, who I'm about to come on to. You've got Don Ballard and Rob Apter. I've been really impressed with Ballard, actually, Nappers, since he's come in on loan from Southampton. He had a loan spell with Reading last year, didn't he, where he perhaps didn't get into the team for obvious reasons because he was behind Sam Smith. But, yeah, thought that he would look really bright, could have scored one, he hit the post himself. Rob Apter looking fantastic on that right-hand side. CJ Hamilton as well. But Ashley Fletcher, we've got to have the conversation, Ben, because if Ashley Fletcher takes his chances, Blackpool win this game comfortably.
Yeah.
There's one in the first half of his feet. I don't know how he's missed it. And then there's one in the second half where I think it's a ball that's come over from the number 7. Forgive me, I don't know the Blackpool squad numbers off by heart, but it's come to him at the back post. He's completely unmarked. And he's got the entire goal to aim at, and he heads straight at the Wycombe goal at Franco Ravazzoli. So, yeah, I think if Blackpool had taken the chances, they would have won the game. But like you say, for Wycombe, a really good point on the road. 6 of their 12 shots were outside the area, including Danudo's sensational strike. For me, the goalkeeper's got to do better because I know it bounces a bit nastily, but he palms it into the net. All I was going to mention was Carl Joseph. He got 4 in 43 for Blackpool last year in all competitions.
Yeah,
it's 1 in 10. Not fantastic. He's probably not hit the heights as to which we were expecting him to since moving to Blackpool. But I think it was a really good draw. 2 mid-table teams for me. My mate Callum, who's a big Blackpool fan, so Blackpool look really good going forward, but just have a little bit of work to do defensively, and hopefully for their sake they'll be able to patch that up. But signs definitely going forward that Blackpool are going to score a few goals this year.
Lee Evans, number 7, a bit of a weird shirt number for a midfielder. Black games recently for Ipswich and Portsmouth and wherever he's been, but experience in there, and Beasley coming up with a big goal as well. He's been a good cup player for them, Beasley, over the last few years. Fletcher started 25 games in the last 4 years before coming to Blackpool. I think it'll take time, give him an opportunity. I think he'll score 15 goals this year. I am going to stick with him. I think that he will get opportunities in this Blackpool side. And there's a great comment up here by Jacob, and I agree on that. It's kind of like no tactics, just vibes. And Keogh's a lad. Do you know what I mean? He's proper, he's just retired out of the game. Proper, come on, boys. Let's get our act together. And they're going to play for him. Long term, is he good enough? I don't think so. However, I think Blackpool fans, if Pete Wild is given the job, they need to get behind him, because you don't want that negativity in and around the football club when a managerial gets, appointed. Realistically, I kind of think, well, who can Blackpool go and get? Brian Barry Murphy is very similar to Critchley. I think Richie Wellens has got 3 years on his contract to Leyton Orient. I think that he would be tempted. Ian Evatt, I think that although his job could be on the line, but I think they need to stay away from this tangerine pass history, because with every manager they've had so far, bar Mick McCarthy, which was a disaster, by the way, it's been a bad appointment. Critchley, went back. First time he was good, went back to Grayson, went back to Appleton. They need to get this appointment right, because they've got a good enough squad to get into the top 10 and challenge as well. Because if Blackpool get into playoffs, they do normally win them. Now, Rotherham United have had the 2nd highest expected goals, the 3rd most shots on target in the division after 4 games. And they played Huddersfield in a Yorkshire derby yesterday, and it was 2-1 to Rotherham. Now, it was fairly even game. Clark Harris has a couple of chances, and you're thinking, when will this ball go in for us? You're thinking a bit like Cheltenham last year, creating chances, but it's not going over the line. Red card given. Danny Ward, it was.
That's it.
Did you think it was a red card? Because I looked at it and
in
I
a
thought
million
about
years,
it, and I was like, what? Because
my
first instinct was, that's pathetic that he's not winning a header when he's got 3 yards of space one side and 3 yards. He's got so much, and he kind of misjudges it. Then he goes in all hot and bothered and imbalanced and kind of goes in with the elbow, and he gives the referee a decision to make. And I thought it was. A lot of Huddersfield fans don't agree with me. Danny Ward, is a player that has lacked goals, hasn't he, in the past few years? 8 goals and 61. Stupid.
Yeah, definite red card for me, Ben. I don't think Danny Ward's going to have any complaints there. He's jumped in with an elbow on the defender. And the most frustrating thing, I think, for Michael Duff, and he mentioned it in his post-match, was that Rotherham were causing no issue where they were on the pitch. Ignore Nevy. He's here to wind me up. He's told me that he's here to wind me up. But yeah,
was he mate?
Yeah. Well,
I was just about to block him.
Mate's a strong term. Me and him are doing a tough mudder at the end of the season together. So yeah, a bit of a brotherhood pat. But yeah, no, stupidity from Danny Ward. like you say, he's in an area of the pitch where they're not bothered at all. I mean, coming on to the goals, Ben, I think Steve Evans would be really disappointed in the first goal. The fact that they let the ball bounce. Evans was fuming with it. Really good pressing by Karoma, and he allows it to bring forward and play the ball to Joe Hodge, who scored on debut. That was a really good sign. And he was on trial at Hibs, I think, earlier in pre-season. The Wolves loanee. I'm pretty sure he comes from a football family. I'm pretty sure his dad was a pro footballer. Anyone who's slightly older than myself will probably know that. The two goals, Ben, for Rotherham. The first one's definitely a penalty. Last gets it up completely wrong and fouls Malik Wilkes. Johnson Clark-Harris, Ben, scores his first Rotherham goal since the 17-18 season, and it was a goal in a 3-0 EFL trophy win over what team? Any ideas?
Lincoln. No, you were in the Football League, were you? That's when you were.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we were. We got the playoffs in League 2 that year. I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a clue. They're in Fleetwood's league this season. You got to think they'll be Bradford. Bradford City, yeah. 3-0 EFL trophy win against Bradford. And then Malik Wilkes scores the winner.
Yeah.
Great little shift of feet and on the right hand side. And Wilkes is a really interesting one, Ben, because for me, he looks like he's been playing as the number 10 behind the two strikers.
Yeah.
And that's not Malik Wilkes at all. And you think of Wilkes at Wednesday, you think of Wilkes at Donny and Hull, playing on that right hand side as a real maverick winger. And yeah, it scores. It's Rotherham's first win of the season. Real big win, statement for Huddersfield. It was a real pity they didn't bring on Joe Taylor because I thought he'd signed for them on Friday. At 0-0, I thought they were going to bring him on, but yeah, no, great win for Rotherham and fantastic win in the Yorkshire derby.
17 corners Rotherham had yesterday. We knew they'd get a lot of set pieces under Steve Evans. And I watched them Tuesday night, and they didn't look like a Steve Evans side. That was a Steve Evans side. Plenty of corners, balls into the box. Yes, they had a man up. The penalty was an opportunity. It was a good penalty. Centre keeper on way and backs. Smashing the ball back into the net out of frustration. I think that finally the gods of Malik Wilkes. It's a great goal. The defenders are backing off, and it's kind of Elijah Campbell's school of defending, really. That players are backing off and not going in for challenges, and it's poor defending, I think. So they've learnt well. It's a good finish. Malik Wilkes makes both goals, wins the penalty, scores the goal as well. Look, they've got a tough run now. Obviously, Burton. Coming up as well. They've got Shrewsbury as well. There's obviously, I think they've got Birmingham as well coming up as well, which at the moment seems like an easy game, doesn't it? Birmingham, the way that they're performing as well. For Huddersfield, I worry about the strikers, Marshall, Karoma, Healy, Danny Ward. They're kind of the four options. There's no real prolific ones up there as well. Again, they'll be solid defensively. They'll get enough results. Crawley 0, Barnsley 3. Now, the last time these played each other, the result was Crawley 5. Barnsley 1. Totally different. Barnsley have now won both away matches. Can't quite remember where they won the last away match. I think it was a team in Lincolnshire.
They won away at Grimsby in the EFL trophy,
mate. They've scored 5 now and conceded once away from home. Davis Keeler-Dunn signed as well. Stephen Humphreys, another signing as well that adds to their ranks. They've added physicality. They've added a goal threat. They've added a bit of link-up. Adam Phillips now, what a player. 23 goals, 16 assists in his last 86 games. 15 goals, 7 assists in his last 33 matches. That is 0.66 goal contributions every game, which is unbelievable. Since that Charlton at home game, I think on the 16th of December, at Oakwell, where they drew 1-1. Brilliant play. It's going to be interesting to see how, Keeler-Dunn coming in. Does he affect that? Will Phillips still be giving that free roam as well? For Crawley, a lot of possession in that second half, especially. I wasn't quite sure whether to believe that statistic at first. Look, they've lost the last 2 games. If you look at it in all competitions, they've conceded 8 goals, not scored. Lots of possession. Didn't really test the goalkeeper enough. But again, 6 points from the first 12. They'd have taken it. They've gone away at Wigan and they've gone home to Barnsley, who, let's be honest, Barnsley are unbelievable away from home. It's just a shame at Oakwell that they love conceding in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, like you say, I was going to touch on Barnsley's away record. Like you say, 6 from 6, Ben. Do you know how many points they picked up in 23 league away games last year?
I'd go 41.
you're very, very close. 42 points.
Yeah, I knew it was around that mark.
Which had them third best in the in the league last year for points away from home. You make the point there about Adam Phillips. I'm really surprised they're able to keep a hold of him. I thought, given the way that they sort of ended last season and the way that he started in August, I thought there would at least be some sort of championship interest or rumours that potentially he might get a move to the championship. And like you mentioned there with Davis Keeler-Dunn now coming in, it's really intriguing to see how that plays off. Barnsley, they looked really comfortable yesterday. But the point is still worth making about the centre forwards. For me, bringing Humphreys in, yes, he's a good player and can probably score you maybe 5 to 10 goals a season. He's predominantly a winger. He's played out on the wing normally for Wigan and previously played there for Hearts as well. Thank you, Charlie. So yeah, a really comfortable win for Crawley, like you say. Wigan away and Barnsley at home are not games in which Crawley's season will be defined. So for me, they've had a good season so far. Scott Lindsay's side. I also think the loss at Brighton in midweek took its toll a little bit. Obviously, I don't think Barnsley. I think they got knocked out of the EFL.
No, they won against Sheffield United.
They won
and then got Man United away. Couldn't be any more wrong there, son. Couldn't be any more wrong. But don't worry, I'll cut it in the edit.
Yeah, but losing 4-0, it's tough, isn't it, when you go to Brighton and lose by 4-0. But yeah, a comfortable win for Barnsley, looking really good away from home.
Absolutely so. Legend, becoming a YouTube member. We've currently got 56 members in total. 2 that are gifted by the lovely links. 54 rolling members. So if you fancy joining as a member, you can do down below in the link down below. Just press join, click the link, press join. $1.99 a month. You get 4 extra videos per week. I think you got a 26-minute one last weekend as well. So an extended one. You got double the length of the vlog as well, and all unseen content. So go and check that out. And if you haven't already, get liking, get subscribing. Can we rebrand to Napper Stats? I think we should do. Right. I'll let you start off with this. Birmingham 2, Wigan 1.
Oh, we're talking about the football club that are ruining
We'll
the
talk about
tier.
the transfers after.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth it. Alfie May, 4-4. That man is a joke. Literally such a good centre forward, and it's really clever movement from him to wriggle 3 of the Wigan defence. The equaliser is an absolute howler. I thought Wigan, just as they scored it, they were slightly getting on top of the game. Thelo Asgard, his first league goal of the season. Bailey Peacock Farrell. We're going to talk about the howler that it is. It goes straight through his legs. Really poor goalkeeping. And when you're playing Birmingham, you have so limited moments. You need to be able to take them. And having a goalkeeper like that, I think it's going to, especially making mistakes in that manner, might cost Blues 1 or 2 times, because without the last minute winner that have dropped points again at home, that wouldn't have been a good start. But debutant Scott Wright, a player that was only signed for 300k, Ben, this window, probably the cheapest of all Birmingham signings.
No.
One that they'd have paid a fee for, certainly the cheapest, from Aberdeen. Great scenes in that end behind the goal. Nevs will tell me what it's called, but the limbs look genuinely phenomenal. 10 points now from 4.
Jealous of the Wigan vlogger in that away end, by the way. In a way, imagine bang.
Yeah, well,
title done.
1 of 10. Blues' next 5 games, though, Ben, are tough, and I was speaking to Joe about this last night. The next 5 in the league: Wrexham, Rotherham, Peterborough, Huddersfield, Charlton. That is a run of 5 games that makes Birmingham's season. Certainly this early part of the season. If they can come out of that with 10 points, I think they'd be absolutely bouncing off the wall with that. So, yeah, really good win for Birmingham. Positive signs for Wigan going forward. They had a couple of spells in the game, but still not good enough to overpower this Birmingham City super team that they've built.
Yeah, you say they've got tough games, but at the moment they're going to say bring it on, aren't they? You know, they've won the last 3, got a late goal in both home games, a penalty against Reading on the 87-minute mark, right yesterday. And what I like about this side are they have won their last 3 games and they have spent a lot of money, which I'll come on to in a minute. But you're getting different players contribute. I thought Williamson yesterday was fantastic. He created a lot of opportunities from what I saw as well. Wright coming in, doing a job, won them 2 points. May has won them plenty of points so far. And there's going to be a time down the line that Stansfield's going to come in and win them points. I think, is it Pike in midfield? I think he's been outstanding so far. Mark Leonard has set an example and fitting straight away as well. Peacock Farrell will make up for that blunder and he will save them, with a good couple of saves. Look, I think the results so far have been good. I thought Birmingham would take a while to adapt, and I thought performances might be either off and they're not getting results, or it'll be the scraping results and maybe drawing games. So far, they could have drawn a couple, but they found a way to win. What's good, they are winning by a goal, but they're playing a lot better than results show. I think they should have won that game 3-4-1 yesterday. I thought it was a really good result. Alpha May is a goal scorer at this level. Also, enter offside. I watched it about 3 or 4 times. He actually timed his run brilliantly. The Wigan defender has his foot, and Alpha May is probably half a yard just behind that, and the ball is played, and bang, he springs across, and it's a great finish. And that is what they brought him in for. And look, Stansfield coming in is eye-watering, but let's put into context. So you are allowed to spend, I believe, 70% of what you turn over. Now, they're on championship wages last year as well, so you're allowed a year to kind of get it all in books. It kind of feels to me it's all but nothing. They have to go up this year, otherwise they could be in trouble. They have gambled, and if they think Jay Stansfield, that £15 million man, is going to they're not signing him just for League One, they're signing him for the next. Did he sign a 7-year deal?
Yeah,
they are signing him for a long, long time, and I know contracts mean fairly nothing in football. You can easily accept a bid, but this is a club that probably are looking at Ipswich a little bit, that are resetting a bit. New ownership has come in, like Ipswich. I think new ownership came in a couple of years before they got out of League One. So kind of the fairly new, probably 3 or 4 years behind Ipswich. Look where Ipswich are now. If they go up, they don't just want to stay in the Championship like a Portsmouth do, like a Plymouth do, like a Derby, like an Oxford do. Like clubs have gone up recently, they want to go up and compete like Sunderland do. So if they think that Stansfield, they can get him now for that amount of money, and they think, right, he's ours, we can build with him. He scored 12 goals in 43 championship games, and he'll get better with that as players get as well. And yes, they have spent I think it's £30 million. But if they've got the money and they're willing to pay it, then I think there's a lot of jealousy out there as well that they don't like. But I like the way that I think the ownership came out when he first came out, and I saw a clip of this, and he went, we are going to do things that nobody does, and he's us against the world. And that's what Birmingham needs to be built on. For the last 5-10 years, he's been fairly easy to play against. You've always fancied your chances against Birmingham. If you beat Birmingham and you finish above Birmingham, you'll stay up, and like they've had a good couple of seasons. And the relegation to League One, I think they won on the final. I think they got 50 points and came down. It was hard. I think coming down to League One would have been better for them than finishing 21st in the Championship yet last year. Only because I think that they can, right now, also, they can rebuild as a football club and start winning games of football again. Start having a winning factor. So when you go back up to the Championship, hopefully, then you've got a winning machine. And that is a winning machine, by the way, as well. And yeah, 68% possession second half. Stansfield, 50 million. How much would you say he's worth? I'd probably say between 3 and 5 at this moment in time. I think that he did well with Exeter.
Yeah.
But they have overspent, but they've had to overspend. If it was a club, maybe, and also I think that, Fulham being in the Premier League, he's not going to get the game time that he wants. But he's a good signing. He's still young. He played for Exeter 2 years ago in this level and did very well as well. And the options you've got up front, you've got Dykes up there, you've got Wright up there, you've got, Jukovic, who you can use, I said at the start, he's going to play 15 times. He won't start a game. He'll play 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, whenever needed, but he'll come on and do a job.
Yeah, I like the signing. I don't like the way that they've gone about it. I think Fulham have slightly had their pants down. And you have to remember, Ben, when you put a player who's been paid, who's £50 million player in this league, you're automatically putting a target on his head. You're automatically putting that little light above his head. This lad was worth 50 million quid. Well, let's just crock him and take him out of the game. So look, I like Jay Stansfield as a player. He did well for Exeter, did very well for Blues last year in the Championship. He obviously came back for Fulham in the League Cup on Tuesday and scored against Birmingham at St Andrews, which would have been weird for him. But the fees just so astronomical, isn't it?
He's a good player.
He's a good. You're not telling me that he's better than he's not
15
better.
million. I'm not. There's a lot of Birmingham fans coming back at us here, and I get it. He means a lot to the football club for what he did last year.
Worth, though.
Say again.
He's not worth.
To be fair,
I'm going to put it into
them. He's the difference between probably going up and not, because if Alfie May gets injured, I don't think they've got good enough goals. He's young, and I get it. He's probably the difference. How much do you get for going up? 8 million quid, 10 million quid difference in sponsorship. If they can go up, they'll earn. All of a sudden, then they're only a few £1 million down. And if they've got the ownership there, all of a sudden, then they're going to push on. So I can kind of see why they spent this £15 million now, because they think that he's going to be the difference in the next 5 years to lift them, not just from League One to the Championship, but as the overall picture. Right now, it's expensive, but I think in 3-4 years' time, we'll be coming back going, tell you what, how clever were Birmingham getting him for that then? And it looked crazy, but look where they are now, potentially in the Premier League again, and they're getting 90, 100 million quid for going up.
But you flip it round, and if they don't get promoted this season, which they should do, they should win the league by about 20 points, given the squad that they've assembled this summer. If Blues don't go up, Ben, their ownership have put them in an absolute massive mess financially, because next year the regulator is coming in. They won't be able to spend anywhere near as much money. Clubs are gambling this year. They're spending so much money this year to try and get away with it for next year when the rules are changed. So, look, it is really difficult. It is a really difficult situation. They've overpaid for him. We've gone and said that. But they're just putting a target on his head. He's got to score 40 goals, or else he's.
I think Stansfield will get 20 goals.
That's not enough for £15 million, Ben.
Yeah, but Jake,
20 goals is not enough.
Listen to me here, right? I get what you're saying, and I get. He's built more than just goals for me. If he helps them score 15, 20 goals, 25 goals this year and contribute, his goal tally last year was 12 goals, right? But he did so much more for them off the ball. His pressing, his work rate, running through the channels, giving them an option at 19 years of age in the Championship. After I think he scored 7 or 8 with Exeter, when they struggled in League One, and stepped up to the plate at, young age. He's got a good frame. He's tall. Like someone said in the chat, he is English as well, so that adds money on. And a 12 goal season track in the Championship all of a sudden attracts interest as well. If he hadn't been at the football club before, I don't think they'd have paid as much. I think because the fans desperately wanted him, and now it's one for the fans that as a player. Now the fans are right behind the football club again. So if it means the fans are invested and going to back the ownership long term, I think they have probably overspent a tiny bit. But I can kind of see long term it being a really good project, because he could be the difference next. Because then you've got a ready-made 15-goal season striker. I don't think I think Jay Stansfield, if they go up this year, which they have to do, we've said it's win or bust, because otherwise FFP might come and struggle. Might struggle with them, and they've got to spend the money now. But I don't think Alfie May will go up and score 15 goals straight away. He's a League One goal scorer. Yes, he'll probably go and get 10. But I think Jay Stansfield can easily go up and score 20 goals in a better Birmingham side than, because last year they finished bottom 3, were quite poor, started well, went on a bad run, still scored 12 goals and contributed a lot.
I think you're putting the kid under far too much pressure. Yeah, and to be honest, Ben, he was good at this level, but he never.
You don't think he thrives on pressure though? Pressure's for tyres.
It's difficult. It's difficult. Like, all of a sudden, if he's not scored, let's say Stansfield scores like 10 goals between now and the end of the season. Look, you're paying 15 million quid for 10. I think it's really. I can't get behind the signing. I can't get behind it. I think it's too much money. I think to throw the money around that Blues have done. I know there's Blues fans in the chat. I know I'm going to get stick for it, but I just think they're throwing a lot of money. They're putting a lot of pressure. If they don't get promoted, they're in bother. Blues will be in bother.
I agree with that. I tell you what, our numbers have gone up from 100 to 173 in that time. Hello, Birmingham fans. Welcome. So, if you are new, we do this podcast every Sunday night. Get liking, get subscribing. It will be massively appreciated. As David also becomes a member, a few fans are becoming a member as well for extra content. It would be really appreciated. Link down below. Right. Shall we have a cup of tea and like?
I'm just saying. Matt Fenton put his comment. I think Fenton makes a really good point. Blues
How
could have
much would you
signed him.
value Joe Taylor at, out of interest?
Joe Taylor,
3, 4?
$1.5 million.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd probably put Joe Taylor. So you'd value Ethan O'Ryan more than 20 goal season?
I don't know Joe's contract situation at Luton.
Let's be honest, overpaid for League One for now, but long-term project, I think it could work.
15 million in the Championship is still a lot of money, though.
Jake, let's calm down. They broke the record 3 times. Let's calm down.
Look,
right?
they're spending too much money, and when it backfires, we're going to have a laugh. Right? Should we move on to Peterborough?
No, you're going to have a laugh. I've not. Birmingham fans, they have the views of Jake Tong. Birmingham are a big fan base. We need to keep them on side, you know.
No, they're the new Sheffield Wednesday, Ben.
Of course they are. Shane, thank you so much for the donation. We don't go up. I'll give you all your subscribers 20 quid. Oh. There we are. Right. Peterborough 0, Wrexham 2. We'll carry on.
Brilliant.
Peterborough have lost both home games by the scoreline of 2-0. In both games combined, they have had an expected goals of Jay. What do you think their combined expected goals is?
Well, against Huddersfield and Wrexham.
Peterborough. Yeah.
0.8.
Very close. 0.88, 0.45 and 4.3. Yeah. 70% on possession. No shots on target. Now, in my comments, on my notes, I've put lack of a centre forward, and you go through them that can play up there. You know, Ado can play up there. You know, you've got Ricky J. Jones who can play up there. Chris Clark, Ricky J. Jones. You've got Pock who can potentially play up there in a 2. They've got lots of good players that can play up there as well. And we're saying, are they missing a focal point up there? Jack Marriott scores his second goal in 4. A club that he scored 49 in 116 games for, 10 points so far on the board in the top 2. Cleworth also getting a goal. I think that's 3 goals in his last 5 or 6 games. He scored it Fleetwood in pre-season, scored it one of the home games, and now again, a good header. Good to see him doing well. They've had the lowest amount of possession, 35. What I like about Wrexham, they don't have a lot of the ball, but what they do is get the ball quickly in transition, get the ball down the channels, play through the lines, get crosses into the box. It's not just long ball. People label sometimes Parkinson's football previously at Bradford and Bolton as long ball. It is not that. It can be direct at times, but they are using their kind of plays right. They're getting balls into the strikers' feet. They're getting strikers making runs in behind. Midfielders playing forwards, running forwards. You've got George Dobson running the games at times as well. You've got Elliot Lee who can score goals using the midfielders and pinning teams back. And Wrexham won't care about what football they are playing. It doesn't matter. It's winning football. And them and Stockport can't leave each other alone. They've come up through kind of they battled in the National League together. They battled in League 2. And now they're the top 2 in there. In League One. Does that not show you the quality of teams that came up? Them to Mansfield, who, you know, again, have had a decent start, and Crawley, who, you know, decent start as well.
Well, I told you Stockport would finish above Wrexham, didn't
I? Did it? Christ! Oh, dear.
You know, yeah. I've just been speaking to Joe, actually. But yeah, Jack Marriott came back to haunt Posh, didn't he, Napper? Someone that you know well. He scored 49 in 114 games for Posh over 2 spells and took his goal really well yesterday. That would have been a bit of a painful one for Posh fans. Wrexham's own Max Cleworth, I think he joined the club when he was 8 years old, scored the second from a corner. And Wrexham have been so good from set pieces this year. Just the marginal gains, the header there. They've scored. I think they scored a set piece in the game against Wycombe on the opening day as well. Really good to see that they're doing that. For all of Peterborough's possession, they didn't really carve Wrexham over. You mentioned there about the XG being 0.8 over 2 games. Chris Clark probably came the closest with 2 efforts. And like you say, they've lost back-to-back home games by 2-0. But, Ben, you rest assured, Peterborough United fans, your next home game is a banker. It's home against Lincoln City.
A goal to win. Just about to say that.
It's a guaranteed win for Posh. But yeah, like you say, Wrexham making a really strong start to life in League One. They don't look out of place. I think Wrexham are definitely, based on what we've seen so far, and I know it's only 4 games, but they've shown they can cut it with teams that are like Bolton, like Peterborough, who we're probably saying are going to be in and amongst it. They're taking 4 points off those teams away from home. Wrexham are here to not just make the numbers up, they're here to play.
we're going to have to make an executive decision here. Sorry, I'll hold the microphone like Charlie Adam does. But I think it's going to have to be an hour and a half, shall we? Because how many games have we done? 6 games? We've done 1, 2, 5.
Yeah, but the games get progressively worse as we go on.
Yeah,
don't
but the next chat could go on for easily 15 minutes as well. So it's Bolton Wanderers. Hello, Bolton fans.
Mind the gap. Bolton
Wanderers. Get liking, get subscribing for all this because this is fun. 164 people in the chat. That's the most we've had in League One live since last season. So a big thank you to all you new viewers. And let us know in the comments who you support as well. It'd be interesting to hear. Right. Bolton Wanderers have lost back-to-back league games by the scoreline of 2-0. Once away at Charlton and now to Exeter, a team they beat 7-0 just 9 months ago as well. No goals in 3 with a draw against Wrexham. 8 shots on target they had that day just 2 weeks ago as well. Ian Evatt, 231 games. Now, I went back to when they beat us November 2023. November 2022, sorry. And I look at them as a team, they are miles better. They are miles better. Look, they've lost, players, Dapo Afolayan, but they brought in the likes of Adebiojo. They brought in the likes of Aaron Collins. They brought the likes of McAtee and Dion Charles is still at the football club. I still think Dion Charles is a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 player. He's either 9 Dion Charles or a 6. He's not often enough. I'll tell you who is a 7 out of 10. Johnston. I think it's his birthday. He's a proper solid 7 out of 10 every week. But this for Bolton is worrying. 6 shots on target in their last 2 games combined. And the manager yesterday sat in his seat, wasn't very animated, wasn't really, making enough subs or enough kind of changes in the game. It was all very flat. And everything that they threw at Exeter was pretty basic. It was I think the first thing we need to say about this was Bolton were poor, but Exeter were absolutely phenomenal. They did the job. They scored a great goal, brilliant free kick as well. And it was a really good result for them. And especially at a club that, we was on this podcast and we were both going, Cowell has to go after that. The run they went on around that time as well, they were struggling, weren't they? The turnaround, he signed a new contract just 2 weeks ago. And you think, when a manager signs a contract, you think sometimes there might be a dip off, a bit like a player. Ian Evatt, though, a lot of people are saying, if he doesn't go up this season, he's got to go. I've heard that for the last 2 years. 2 years ago, when they got into the playoffs, it was a good one because it was the second season in League One, and it kind of felt like a free hit for them that year after finishing 9th. They had a bit of energy about them, a bit of a sparkle about them. Yes, they're a big club for the level, and the Bolton Wanderers were always expecting. When they lost to Barnsley, it felt last year, right, we've lost in the playoff semi-finals. This hurts. You lose Trafford, you lose Bradley, you replace them with Cogley and Baxter. You sign well, you go again. You bring Adebiojo's at the football club as well. Collins comes in January. You've got to go up. They performed well, didn't go up. Now, here and after 4 games, brought a load of players in, McAtee being one, potential, sacking. I can't see Sharon Britton and the Bolton board getting rid. What do you think?
Well, I think as much as fun as it would be to bash Bolton Wanderers, I think, like you mentioned there, you've got to give credit to Exeter on that one. They lost the game at Bolton, Ben, 7-0 last year. And to go and overturn, it's a 9-goal deficit they had to overturn this season, and they were able to do it. Like you mentioned, lovely free kick from Kamara Doyle to score his first goal for Exeter. Lovely strike. But yeah, Bolton, I thought, really struggled to carve this Exeter team open, similar to what we spoke about with Peterborough. 21 shots for Bolton, 11 off target, 7 blocked. So that gives you, 3 shots on target at home against Exeter. Is that good enough for Bolton? Is that down to the style of play? Is that down to the manager? Is it down to the players? I think it's a little bit of everything. I think the only bright spot for Bolton was Jordi Asay-Tutu coming on. He looked like he wanted to drive forward and looked like he wanted to create chances. And I think that's when Bolton started to move through the gears a little bit. But cracking win for Exeter. Is the pressure on Ian Evatt? I think there's pressure on Ian Evatt every single season that he's the manager of Bolton. You think about it, when he took over there in League 2, pressure to get promoted straight away, he was able to do it. And then the pressure of Bolton have spent a large majority of their recent history in the Premier League and in the Championship. For them to be swimming around in League 1 is not is not acceptable by the standards of a lot of their supporters. So I think there is a lot of pressure for me and Evatt. I could see it. I can see it well where he gets sacked this season if they continue to pick up just 1 point a game like they have been. Then yeah, I think they're just on a really downwards trajectory. They don't particularly have. I know they've got great centre forwards in Charles and in Adebayejo, but when they take them two off, I worry about the next options. Collins and McAtee are not centre forwards; they're number 10s or wide players. So, yeah, I'm worried. I'm not worried about Bolton because I think they'll eventually come good. But it's been a really poor start. I'm worried. I'm worried about Ian Evatt. I think he could well lose his job. But who goes into Bolton? Like Ryan Lowe? Does Ryan Lowe go to Bolton? I think that would be a really sensible appointment. But you got to bear in mind at Preston, he did really well. And then all of a sudden it just got to a point where they were in a bit of a lull, weren't it? And that just seems like copy and paste of what Bolton are in with Evatt at the moment.
They've struggled before. They were 18th, I think, when in January on deadline day, and they came good. They can't have anything like that again. But what they've got to do now is make the right choice. I think sticking with him for another 5 or 6 games. He won't be liked. He's certainly in a better place when he found them. They were a disaster. Obviously, investment and a good ownership helps, and the fans being back on side does help as well. That's 50% of it. But 231 games, do you think that he's made him an established top-end League One club now? Maybe is it the right time to pass that baton as well? Dave Challoner will be the dream for Bolton because he's in Stockport, as someone said in the chat as well. Let me know down below what you think, Bolton fans. Reading beat Charlton 2-0. Yeah. Now, Reading beat Nathan Jones in their first home game. The first game of Nathan Jones' reign last year. Now, since then, they've lost 1 in 18. Now, the 20th game, Reading beat Charlton at the Medeski 2-0. So Nathan Jones lost 3 games, 2 to Reading, right? However, it gets weirder. In both games of that fixture, they've conceded a goal in the 66th and the 76th minute of both games of football. Different goal scorer, because the goal scorer last time, Femi Aziz, is now gone. But it was Savage and Smith, who scored, I think, 15 goals last year as well. Since Reading came down to this level, Jake, they've won 14 of 25 matches. Charlton yesterday, 8 changes of the side since January, when Nathan Jones went in. Gillespie, Jones being 2, and Connor Coventry being the other one. Huge turnover as well. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was a game by the looks of it. Looking at it on SofaScore, it looked like a game that Reading completely dominated. But you watch the highlights and all the key moments, certainly in that first half, fell to Charlton. They looked really good at creating chances, but it was that final ball that they've been really clinical in the last couple of weeks because that final ball has been perfect. But that final ball yesterday just wasn't at the level that it's been at over the last couple of weeks. Luke Berry has an absolute howler, which he should score in that first half. Reading break the press really well. We speak about Reading under Ruben Sellers. They're a really good team playing out from the back. They break the press really well. And the ball ends up at the feet of Charlie Savage. And for me, Bennett's got to be up there for goal of the day. It's a lovely clipped effort just above the floor, hits the post on the way in. Fantastic strike. And he's going to be a really big player for them this season, I think. And then, like you mentioned, Sam Smith, 16 and 37 in all comps for them last year. Such a crucial part of this Reading team, especially when you consider the average age of the squad. I think it was just under 22 years of age yesterday, which is phenomenal for a team that are competitive at this level to beat Charlton. But the story about Sam Smith is just so much more than just another footballer because he came through the academy, he's gone away, he's proved his salt in League Two and in League One, coming back, and he's a real key figure for this Charlton, for this Reading side. Nathan Jones, for me, went a little bit over the top yesterday. He claims they could have had a penalty. I think it's the incident on Gassana Hadmeh. For me, I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think there's a lot in it. And Nathan Jones has got tendencies to do it, hasn't he? Do you remember the interview that he gave away at Blackburn? He goes, "I'm physically sick." And he comes out with these really good one-liners where you see them in all these little montages of managers saying things. And yeah, it will only get used as another clip over on X. But yeah, I thought he went over a little bit over the top. Charlton had lots of half chances, but didn't really do enough to win the game. Reading clinical and took away the chances that they created. So, yeah, and like you say, Reading winning 14 out of, was it 27 home games or 25?
14 out of 25.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal.
That's a 56% win record at home.
Yeah, phenomenal. A lot of teams are going to go to Reading and struggle this year. I think they'll bloody some noses, but yeah, poor day out for Charlton and a great one for Reading.
Charlton aren't going to be a team this year that create loads of chances. They're going to be a side that can have to sit in deep at times. At the Valley, they'll be a lot better. Obviously, Bolton at home is a different type of fixture, but, they've got the lowest expected goals in the division, 2.2. So the fifth lowest expected goals. And then I think they've got the lowest shots on target per match, third lowest possession as well. So they're going to have to be very, very well organised with what they do with the possession. Now, can I just say, last week, Bristol Rovers... What did I tell you last week in this chat? That Promise Omocherry will score a goal. I believe in him. Now, the first goal for Bristol Rovers yesterday, great ball, and I thought Promise was really well. It's a great finish. Striker that scores 20 goals a season. Striker.
Michael Morrison, though. Come on. Come on. Michael Morrison is about 10 yards behind the rest of his...
However, it's a great goal.
goal.
The second one is typical Promise. Ball fizzed in. Bang, pinned the defender. You could tell that he's done a bit of chest press. Bang, pull the ball out, turn and spun. Obviously, goalkeeper would be disappointed, but when it's fizzed at you after about 8 yards out, it's a good finish. And Promise has been this player that's been good one in 6 games. Now, he scored a goal for Fleetwood against Cambridge last year. I think one of 6 last year. Now, Promise Omocherry has scored in a game of football and won for the first time since April 2023, over probably around about 50 games ago. So he is back with that as well. Clean sheet in both home games for Bristol Rovers, wins in both home games. They only won 8 home games last year, disappointing. They're already a quarter of the way there. Monk at Cambridge, 3 wins in 15 since his time there. 14th in expected goals, 17th in terms of shots on target. They are missing Gary Gardner and Daniel Underlew, who they signed on deadline day. So they have got some players to come back into that squad. But by that 4-4 draw with Blackpool, 3 defeats when you look at it. A defeat away at Stockport, defeat on the second game of the season as well, and then a defeat yesterday as well.
Yeah, that's 7 wins in their last 9 against Cambridge for Bristol Rovers. A phenomenal record, and it's one of those bogey teams for Cambridge, but for Bristol Rovers, it must be nice going to play Cambridge and going, well, we've got such a good record against them. And for me, Rovers just look so much better going forward. I know that they're missing Chris Martin, but Ruel Sartori, who slipped in next to Promise yesterday, I thought he brings them that little bit of extra flair. He had a really good moment in the first half where he dinks his shoulder and he hits the post. It was really unfortunate. And the first goal, like you mentioned, it is really tidy. It's really good high pressing from Bristol Rovers. Luke Thomas wins the ball back, and it's a great spot to Promise. But Michael Morrison, mate, you're about 10 yards, behind your fellow defenders. The ball takes a nick and it loops over the goalkeeper. The second goal, like you say, fantastic from Taylor Moore's cross in, like to hit it on the side volley for. I think the best name in football, Brian Belongo, the little flick to get it down, I think that makes the goal. And then, like you say, Ben, when Promise has got 1 second to think about it and put it in the back of the net, he does it.
Both times. We've
seen it so many times before.
Yeah. He's not changed. He has not changed. I do not see any difference in these games. So he scored 2 goals, but I need to see consistent. Before I start praising him, I need to see this for 10, 15 games minimum.
I agree. It's his first actual first brace in the EFL since arriving over from the League of Ireland. Like I say, Rovers just look so much better going forward, but they're always going to be one of those teams that do give out a couple of chances every game. There was one, Josh Griffiths made a really good save down to his left-hand side. And I do worry for Bristol Rovers maybe when they're playing a bit more of a clinical side, like they're playing Barnsley next week. It's not been called off as of yet. I do worry that, if that's Adam Phillips in that position, or if that's a Keeler Dunn or someone like that, then that might well go in and it might have a mountain to climb. But I think 7 points from 12 is not a bad return for Rovers. That's obviously 2 home wins from 2, making the Mem a really strong fortress. And then for Cambridge, you flip it 1 point from 12 for Cambridge. I think Gary Monk has got them playing better than last year, but they don't have. Last year they were able to pick up results out of nowhere. There was that Easter weekend, wasn't there, where they beat, I think it was Barnsley and Blackpool, was it, over Easter weekend?
Yeah, they beat Barnsley, Blackpool, they beat Wigan just before that. Daylight saved the season in the last few seasons.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they just need to figure that out and pick that up. But I think overall they're playing pretty well. It's just they need to be a bit more clinical and a bit better in terms of defending. But yeah, great win for Rovers. Like you say, Ben, promise on a cherry, absolute double. And good, tricky game next week for Gas. But, if they should be up for it. Looking forward to it.
To be fair, at Fleetwood, we don't do doubles. Some of our fans, the only doubles they do is double cheeseburger, to be fair. But you don't do double braces.
Or a double bet.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Kate. Oh, shut up. Hello, Katie. Hope you well. Well done on your run today as well. Mansfield 1, Stockport 1. Shut up. Mansfield 1, Stockport 1. Boateng with his first goal of the season, 5 last season. Won on the opening day, drew with Burton, and now the 5th point of the season from 4 games as well. Obviously lost to Lincoln. Some good chances in both games. Christy Pym made 3 or 4 good saves. If his team was going to win, it would be Stockport. Stockport, who dropped points for the first time this season and expected goals of 2.38. Louis Barry and Alofalai had chances. Wootton with his 3rd goal of the season, going into a tough batch of fixtures.
Yeah, that's Hiram Boateng's first League One goal since December 2021 when he was playing for Milton Keynes Dons, Ben. It's his first goal in League One.
Oh, right.
December 2021 when he was playing for MK. Eh?
I was like, hang on a minute. You say his first goal? I might score 5 last year.
Yeah, he scored in League 2. So I'd be surprised if he scored in League 1 last season, Ben.
We're scoring lots of goals in League 1 this year. We're scoring as many goals in League 1 as we are in League 2 the last 2 games.
Well, they are. Yeah, and like you mentioned, it's first goal Stockport have conceded all season. Carl Wootton scoring for Stockport. That's good because he's an ex-Lincoln player scoring away at Mansfield. We like that. League leaders had chances to snatch it right at the death. Isaac Alafe probably should score, but he hits it just wide. And also, Louis Barry was never going to score this weekend, Ben, because it's the first week I put him in my EFL fantasy team. So, sorry, Stockport fans, you weren't able to get the win. But 10 points from 4 signifies a really good start to life in League One.
Right, next game. I'll let you talk through it while you do so. Stevenage 0, Lincoln 1. For the benefit of this,
I don't need to. It's not a long one.
Can't hear you, mate. Go on.
It's not a long one. It was a really poor game.
How many penalties Stevenage have had?
You what?
How many penalties? Look. 1 draw in the last 3 games, 2 defeats now for Stevenage. They've lost to Huddersfield and Lincoln. 2 good sides, 2 sides that you'd bet would be the top 6, top 8 at the end of the season as well. Tough games coming up as well for them. Barnsley at home, Exeter away, Charlton at home. 5th best defence for Stevenage. 14th in terms of possession, 9th in expected goals. I don't know how Therese Simpson's not scored in the first half.
Yeah.
Were you disappointed with that first half display? And expected goals of 0.0. Very scrappy. Therese Simpson having the only chance, really, up to the goal.
Yeah, the first half wasn't exactly legendary. It was 2 teams trying to figure each other out. We know the way that Stevenage play, a lot of long balls, a lot of play into the target man. And I thought Tyrese Simpson actually caused us 1 or 2 issues last season because he was at Northampton, wasn't he, on loan from Huddersfield. And he did it again. He definitely caused Pordy O'Connor and Adam Jackson an issue there. And he should score. He's rounded the goalkeeper. It was easy to miss, but the ball is bouncing in his defence. I thought between the boxes, Stevenage were actually pretty tidy. Dan Kemp was getting into dangerous areas, but it was that final ball in. It was that the cross was overhit or it went out of play or they found a Lincoln head. And that's the worry for Stevenage. I think they need to get Jamie Reid back into the team. I think Jamie Reid would have scored that chance.
Should be back after the international break, shouldn't he?
Yeah,
he should be Wigan next week.
Yeah, be a big one for him. But I thought Stevenage defended pretty well. They limited us to not a lot of amount of shots. But the reason why Lincoln won the game, Ben, and Stevenage didn't was squad depth. We were able to make a host of changes that impacted the game. Bailey Cadamartri came on for his debut, didn't touch the ball a whole deal.
That just sounds like a cheese to me.
Got Cadamartri.
Yeah, just give me some cheese.
Looks a tidy player. He didn't touch the ball a lot, but looks quick and had to be shifted out onto the left-hand side to sort of counteract Stevanage's aerial threat. And the one that really changed the game was JJ McKiernan coming on for did he come on for Tom Bayliss, who didn't look very happy about going off. But for me, the penalty that Lincoln get, and we'll come on to the penalty that Stevenage get, because I know you're going to question me on it. It's a definite penalty. The one on McKiernan, he gets into the box really well, really clever down that right hand side. I think it's.
I tell you what, right? I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you won. But boy, right? Can I just say, I'd have loved it if they'd give theirs and not yours, just to sit back with me popcorn and just go, just listen to it. But I'm glad you won.
Yeah, I bet you would.
I'll be honest with you. I do look out for Lincoln results, not just for you, Sue. You know, Lincoln are a great club that I respect a lot. I respect a lot of clubs. You know, I'm like that. I try and see the best in people.
But yeah, it was a definite penalty and well took away from Moylan. We should say happy birthday, Jack Moylan. It's his birthday today. Doubt he'll be watching, but if you are, Jack, happy birthday. Love that you topped your birthday off with a goal yesterday. But yeah, we'll talk about their penalty, Ben, because it'll be something. I sent it to you before the stream. You looked at it first glance and thought it was a penalty. I can understand where you're coming from, but Jackson...
He's not in a Lincoln shit, so it's not a penalty.
Having watched it a couple of times, Jackson does nip in and get the ball first, and therefore I think once he's won the ball, I don't think you can award a penalty, because what else is he supposed to do? He can't control the fact he's taken the man down trying to play the ball. So, I also... For Stevenage, and I know Stevenage fans weren't happy with him, but David Rock was a disgrace yesterday. A really poor referee who had no control of the football match in both moments. Just a really poor game of football, really scrappy. Neither team probably deserved to win it, but I'm glad that let me there we are. I'm glad that we did. That makes it 3 wins from 4 now, fourth in the table. Going into the international break, so very happy.
Lincoln City are currently the top goal scorers in League One. All 6 different goal scorers as well for you, which I like. And what I seen to Jack on the coach yesterday, you look at the teams in League One, there's Birmingham, your obvious one, you know, but bar them, I look at it through the league, and I kind of think Lincoln have got the most 7 or 8 out of 10 you'd rate them. Mm-hmm. Averagely over a 46 game. Look, they will put in 5 out of 10 performances, but then they'll go and put in 9. Yesterday was probably about 5 to 6 because they defended very well. We're coming on in saying Lincoln haven't played well, but we're saying Stevenage didn't create much, created 1 good chance. So that just shows you how good Lincoln have been defensively, and they've not done that this season enough. They kept the most clean sheets in the league last year. Statistically, they had the best goalkeeper. Not that I ever heard about that. But they need to go back and for George Wickens in goal. It'll be huge.
Big moment for him to get a clean sheet.
It's a big moment because he's been tested. I think he made a big save. You know, he made a mistake against Burton. He made a big save with his hand that he should have made, but the reaction save in the last minute against Burton in added time where 10 minutes gets added on and opening day, you have to wait till 5:30 to play. Difficult circumstances in the game, you get through it. So it's a good win, shows a lot of character. I think Lincoln have got a lot of 7 and 8 out of 10, you know, regularly enough. And if Lincoln are going to have to challenge for the top 6 this year, they are going to have to be good at home, which they've done. They've won a home game so far this season out of 2, lost to Barnsley, which they should have got a point. Second half, but the performance just can't give teams a leg up, and they know that. Yeah. But they've won both away games. But the one thing I like, they won 1-0. They're going to have to do a lot of that, I think, this year. They've done that regularly enough at other clubs over the years as well. I think they did it at a Premier League club, you know, that were in League One a few years ago. I can't really remember.
One of those teams that don't really lose at home, Ipswich.
Yeah, they've only lost since that moment. I think they've lost was it the year they went up, or
it was the only home game they lost the year.
And then they lost to Leeds last year 4-3, and then lost to Liverpool. But Liverpool, Leeds teams are getting with L.
Yeah, they're a struggle. You know what I mean?
Anyway, next up, Northampton 0-0. It was actually quite a decent game. You know, I think Northampton have a big chance on where Crocombe saves one onto the post. Orsi is offside, but misses from about 3 yards out. Just nothing's breaking to him at the minute. I think as soon as he gets one, he'll go on a run of scoring 3 or 4. Who did I say about that last year? Joe Taylor.
Yeah.
Where I went, as soon as Joe Taylor scores 1, he'll score 6 or 7. Well, he doubled
10.
that, didn't he? So, as well, 8.53 to 0.5 expected goals. Can I just say, last year, Jake went, we're a winning machine, and then lost 2 of the last 3 and failed to get into the playoffs. Jake said 2 weeks ago, Burton are fantastic. Burton just score goals, scored 6 in the first 2. Since that, Burton 0, Stevenage 0, didn't have a shot on target. Northampton 0, Burton 0. Back-to-back clean sheets for Burton. Didn't do that enough last year as well. Conceded 5 in the first 2. Conceded 6, scored 5. In the first half of that game was 0.12 to 0.18 expected goals, Jake.
Yeah, it like you say, it wasn't a game that you'd think would end 0-0 based on the quality of chance that was created. I think Ben Whitfield had a couple of good chances for Burton. The one that Crocombe was tipped onto the post is a really good save because it comes through a crowd of bodies. I think is it McCarron, the lad that scored last week down at Barnsley. He's come in and made a really big impact for the Cobblers. So, yeah, I think it was a decent game for 0-0. Most 0-0s are absolute bore fest like Burton last week, but still, a really good draw for both teams. Gives them another point towards safety.
Happy birthday, Phoenix Patterson. They're all the games done, I believe. Jake, give me a bit of a break from talking. Go and plug your Twitter account.
Oh, well, I actually have a couple of things to plug this week, Ben, as it goes. I'm going to do a formal announcement. I know Fenton's in the chat. So, yeah, obviously come over and follow me on this Twitter, Jake_Tong98. But myself, Matt Fenton in the chat, and a guy called Lep we're creating a new Lincoln City podcast that will be debuted after the Peterborough United game. It's called Here for the Lincoln. So if you could check that out on our pilot episode in a couple of weeks, that would be fantastic. I know Ben's looks thrilled about it. And also
I will just come in and say, for those boys as well, A, good luck spending extra time with him. B, if you get 2 weeks out of him, like he did with his YouTube channel, nasty. 2 weeks he had, right? I've had longer relationships than that. Right? I've had longer COVID stints than that. Fleetwood have gone on longer unbeaten runs than that. Just trying to think of things longer than that. So good luck with it, mate. I'm looking forward to it. And it
should be good. Should be really good, actually. The 2 lads that I'm doing it with are way more intelligent than I am. But I'm just the man with the know-how of how to tie it all together. So that's how I'm on it. But yeah, looking forward to it. And then obviously T-Flop, which we're recording tomorrow night. That'll be out on Tuesday probably.
If Wardy's not in the pub.
If Wardy's not down.
You're waiting on games, Thomas. If you're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's go. Right, League One table. We're not sharing it because we're 4 games.
Do you want to do predictions?
Let's do predictions. I want to hear this. I think
so. Well, I wouldn't say we did well.
Can I also just fit in as well? How in the I had a look yesterday at Fantasy EFL. I thought I've done quite well here. That people were entertaining me. That I left Luke Molly. Why are you leaving him in? He plays for Port Vale. He playing Port Vale. In the Fleetwood League, out of 189 people, Nappers is first. In the T-Lop Fantasy League, Jake is bottom with 192 points. In third place is Jack Ward on 198 points. In second place is Thomas Chappell on 200 points. And in first place is Benjamin Knapman on a mega 265 points. Look at that, boys. Come on.
Well done, mate.
Who do you have in your team? Why is it not? Do you not have a goalkeeper?
Did I not pick a goalkeeper?
Oh, my Lord. You are.
I'm sure I did.
Oh, is there a game tomorrow night?
Yeah, Salford MK Dons. I've got an MK Dons goalkeeper in. I'm pretty sure I've got 2 players from MK Dons in my team.
Oh, he's a goalkeeper from MK Dons?
Yeah. Is it McGill? Tom McGill? I'm desperately logging in to have a look. Let's have a look.
But anyway, let's get on with predictions because, let's
have a look. My team. Yeah, so I've still got McGill to play. Yeah, I had my I put Paulie O'Connor in my team this week, and he got sent off.
Did you?
Yeah.
How many points did he get?
7.
Minus.
No, 7.
Oh, right. Okay. Right, go on. Predictions, boy.
So, yes. So, this week, close again, actually. 8 points to Ben, 7 points to me. Ben, I believe you got 2 correct results, Ben, in Rotherham, Huddersfield, and Bristol Rovers, Cambridge. Whilst I pulled out the masterclass of calling a 0-0 between Northampton and Burton Albion, which leaves you on 35 and me on 29. So the gap's 6 points. Easily doable over a couple of weeks. But I believe we've only got 4 games next week because of international call-ups and stuff.
Oh, have we?
I believe.
You read them out then. Is it me? Is it me at home?
No, so I get to go first this week because you went first last week. So so the following games have all been postponed for international call-up. So Burton, Crawley, Cambridge, Bolton, Huddersfield, Blackpool, Exeter Blues.
Tell you what, to make it fair,
Orient, Lincoln, Northampton.
Next week, to make it fair, because you're having 4 games to predict. Next week, on my week, we'll both predict 6 each. Fair?
Okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of where
we
take it in turn, just a minute.
You've got to bear in mind though, Ben, we could still have some change because the games that currently stand are Charlton, Rotherham.
No, they're all up to date. There cannot be a game called off now.
Okay, but so first up, alphabetically, will be Barnsley versus Bristol Rovers at Oakwell. Perennial strugglers at Oakwell, aren't they, Barnsley? I think Bristol Rovers would be a good side. I'm going to go Barnsley 2, Bristol Rovers 1.
Oh, you absolute toad in the hole. I was going to go for that because Barnsley love both teams to score. I'll go for 2-0 Barnsley. I'm going to keep a clean sheet, believe in them.
Charlton Athletic at home to Rotherham.
Good game, that.
It's a really good game. One I could see this ending a draw. I'm going to go Charlton 1, Rotherham 1.
I'm going to go for Charlton 1, Rotherham 0.
So you're back in Nathan Jones. Big derby for Wrexham and Shrewsbury on Saturday. I think Shrewsbury have sold out their allocation. I'm going to go... derby games tend to be quite tense and quite nervy, so I'm going to go Wrexham 2, Shrewsbury 0.
Oh, you absolute! I hate this rule. That's the. Oh,
you had it last week, mate.
You're not having 6 next week. Do I get bonus points for predicting promise to score? Like I said, no.
No, mate.
Look, they've still got a bit of tension from wickets left. Wrexham, didn't he, in December 2019, I think, to go to Shrewsbury.
Mm-hmm.
Big derby anyway. I'll go for 2-1 Wrexham.
2-1.
I just know it's going to be 2-0.
And finally, Wycombe Wanderers are hosting Mansfield Town at Adams Park. For me, I think this should be a Wycombe Wanderers win. I'm going to go Wycombe 1, Mansfield 0.
I'm going for Wycombe 2, Mansfield 0.
They are. That's the 4 games, and then we're back to a full schedule next week. But there's some good games, Ben. Looking ahead to the week after, there's Wrexham Birmingham on the Monday night. There's Stevenage Barnsley, Lincoln Peterborough. There's Bolton Huddersfield. There's some good games the week after. Oh, apparently Wycombe Mansfield's been postponed. That's funny.
That went well, didn't it?
So 3 games.
9 out of 12 have been postponed. Like, why are we bothering? I don't think there'll be a League One Live next week. There's going to be in place of League One Live is a League One roundup for the month that me and Jake are going to film and we're going to put out on Sunday. So there you are. Tell you what, I never thought of it like that. I was thinking, when do I upload it? There we are.
We could do it as a premiere, Ben, and we could both be sat in here while it's on.
Yeah, we could do. Like how the viewer count has gone from 173 to 105. Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. So if you haven't already, please please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. 5 minutes of questions. Get them in down below as well. Why they postponed international call-ups for under 23s or first teams? I think we've got 4. We've got a few.
Have you? We've got 3, but we don't know who they are.
Yeah. I was going to come to Lincoln next weekend to watch your game.
Was you?
I was thinking about it, wasn't I?
So was Farley.
Yeah.
Farley was going to come out today.
I've deleted it, Ben. I've deleted it.
It's been a slow week this week, Ben. I can't lie to you. I had a like off a girl called Cassie, but she wasn't particularly my type. Put it that way.
No. Let that be it. I've deleted it. Can't be bothered with it. We've got loads.
I did get a match this week. That's a lie.
Oh,
I matched with Abby on Wednesday, and she's 1 kilometre away as it stands.
Don't worry, mate. I'm sure you'll get in your car and drive there. Save the walk.
Yeah, save the walk.
Question, Brian. We'll answer League 2 questions tomorrow. Rowan and McKieran, I think. Yeah.
Well, Bailey's not been called up for the England under-20s, so I'll be surprised.
Yeah, Bailey de Pepper's gone. Hasn't he left Port Vale? I know that's League 2 talk, but that was a late transfer, wasn't it?
I was surprised it wasn't a loan back.
Yeah, I was. What do you think has been the best transfer then in League 1 then this season?
Oh, the best.
I've got to sit back, mate. My back is in ruins.
The best League 1 signing this summer, at the minute, I'm torn between 2. Torn between Louis Barry returning to Stockport, or George Dobson going to Wrexham.
Jay Stansfield, absolute bargain. I think Lars Sorensen has got to be up there for Alfie May. Started very well. He's going to score a load of goals. Shaq Ford going to the Gas. Good sign. Was it Leyton Orient last year? Good player.
He's got a few goals for them last year.
Yeah, he did. He did. Oxford have won, both home games as well. Well done to them. Sparky's on fire now. Hopefully he doesn't go on a drought, because he started last season quite well, if you remember. He scored against Barnsley and Derby and didn't score till Derby at home. He went like 18 games without a win.
Isn't it annoying that Oxford won a game yesterday?
Why? Because you'd have been the only team to win.
Hey?
Because you'd have been the only team to win.
2 weeks in a row. I'd have been the only bloody T-Flock team to win.
Yeah. Best Scottish Premier League signing, a lad for Ross County. Yeah, great signing. Good with both feet. I know Blackpool Tower Circus have been in touch. Mo Fowl for Wrexham. I like Wrexham. I hope they stay up. Out of all the teams, I hope Wrexham stay up the most, just because they're not funded by anyone, are they? A lot of big turnover as well.
Yeah, I think they've struggled.
Norwich at Stockport, yeah. I think he'll be a solid 7 out of 10. You seen that Jordan Ross is injured at Shrewsbury? It's only a 2-week injury, but he's injured already.
Again. Fantastic.
Alpha Mania's a bit, There's Joe Piggott yesterday, right, was unbelievable. I've got to find a way of Fleetwood getting in here. Yesterday was so. I tell you what, I got up at 4 o'clock yesterday. Left the house at 4:45. I got back at midnight. Wow, what a long day, by the way.
I don't know how you do it, genuinely.
The view is in the corner as well. Poor view. And a Wimbledon fan came on, right, and said to me, I think it's absolutely disgraceful that you only bought 179. We had 1,000 seats. We're losing money. I'm like, hey, if you want that, get promoted and be better at football and be more competitive and invest some money. 2, there's going to be about 10 clubs that bring the same amounts or less. Harrogate, Morecambe, Accrington, Tuesday night games as well. And this is from a club that brought 200 to us a few years ago. Could understand if it was coming from someone like Birmingham, but
is that the fella that does the TikToks? Is that who said it to you?
No, he's a nice guy. He was full of credit for our fans. Barrow have got a good fan base, to be fair. Ali Smith, play well.
I asked you that last night, didn't I?
Can I just say, by the way, what do I always say about Coventry? I don't know if you understand this. I've always said on many streams, and Jake can back me up here, how much I actually respect Coventry. And of all the Championship clubs, I probably like Coventry the most because A, their business plan, I like the ownership. I like the way they buy players from League One. They sell on players for good amounts of money. They've got a good fan base. I like Living Down in These Towns. It's one of my favourite songs as well, since you started singing it, because it's a local band as well. I like the Rico, and we've been to Coventry a few times and won. So I actually quite like Coventry. And I think Mark Robbins is probably the best manager in the Championship. I'll say that now.
The job he's done there is unbelievable. They're the blueprint for any team wanting to get promoted into the Champ and do.
I think, right, you'll like this. They are a bigger and better version of Lincoln City. Lincoln City are very similar, buying players from a lower level for more amounts of money. Don't get me wrong. Like, you buy for threes or 100, 200 grand from Scottish leagues. They'll do 2, 3. What you kind of do is you buy spaghetti, you buy bolognese sauce, you buy chicken to go in with it and a bit of parmesan on top, and you buy loads of little ingredients that you've got to mess around with. What Coventry do is they buy a ready meal and some grated cheese, and they've got garlic bread dippers that go in the air fry. They've got it ready to go in 10 minutes.
They've had a big sale though, haven't they?
Yours will take a couple of hours,
That's the thing. Cov have had their big sale in getting Victor Gyökeres, and if he then moves on again, they'll be due a nice sum of money. So
and someone had a go at me yesterday for getting away to tickets and they didn't. I just said, stop crying your heart out, mate. Like, simple as that.
That person was me, by the way.
Say again.
That person was me. I wanted Oasis tickets.
Did you? I was like,
so if anyone wants to get me a birthday present next year, they're playing at Heaton Park on my birthday. So please feel free to donate to the charity cause that I am to go and see Oasis.
The only Oasis drink you're going to get is Summer Fruits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been. So they started a couple of seasons slow, but they had like 6 away games. They start most seasons slow, to be fair. Ours is more tasty then. Yeah, best shortbread though. If we're talking about shortbread.
Yeah, she didn't make me any this week. The little scoundrel.
Good. She's saving herself. She's got to be on form. What?
On form for what?
On form for making me cookies when
right, okay. I understand that it is.
I tell you what, right? I saw a car that, an Oxford car. There's an Oxford car that has got like grass on it and like all the Oxford badges and like pictures on it. I thought, Sue needs one of these for Lincoln City. I'll send it you later, Sue. You need one of those for Lincoln City with Ethan on it. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the stream. I hope you've enjoyed watching. There's still 108 people listening to us waffle. If you could we appreciate it. If you could subscribe, it's free to do so. Subscribe. Jake, thanks for joining me, mate.
Thank you, mate. I've just dropped the biggest fart ever.
Yeah.
This is why I went on mute.
Right, I'll be back live tomorrow night. Now, let's get these viewing figures up on League 2. League 2, come and join me. 8 o'clock, debut for Mr. Jack Kershaw. I hope you enjoy us. We've got 12 games. Take us as you find. It's a new podcast, new league. We'll talk through all the games as well. A good co-host as well.
Hold on, you were praising me earlier for doing my research.
No, did I say anything about it? I said he's a good co-host. Did I ever once in that sentence slag you off? No. You just thought
it could have been inferred.
You need to let me finish, boy. Yeah, you've had too many pints, too many passes. Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw that burger that I had yesterday. I put it on Twitter. The Borough Burger. Jesus wept. It's huge.
What was
I went out for Nando's last night. I had so much food yesterday.
What did I have yesterday? I had a Mackey's breakfast.
Of course you did.
Double sausage McMuffin because I don't touch egg. Spoon's pizza and a McFlurry for my tea and a bag of hula hoops. That was my food yesterday.
McFlurry and a bag of hula hoops.
I wasn't well yesterday. My vlog was awful. I'll be honest with you. That is one of the worst. The last 2 vlogs I've done have been the worst 2. I've not felt well on vlogs for the last 2 weeks, and somehow I produced something.
Are you having a post-stream snack? Because I am.
What are you having?
I went to big Tesco last night in the whip and got some 62 pence bourbons.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have a cup of tea and some bourbons.
I might probably either go for some granola, some yogurt, or if I'm feeling adventurous, I might even go for a protein mousse. So I'm a bit
protein mousse.
Yeah, I got a 12k running today as well, training for my marathon next year as well. There we are. Ultimate professional bet. That's what I am, Sue. I'm the best in the game.
Sue?
Best in the game at what I do. Anyway, I need to get some sleep. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, thanks, people.
Please like, please subscribe.
We won't see you next week because we're not doing it next week.
Well, there'll be a video, so get subscribed. Get subscribed. It's free to do so. You have to comment. You have to subscribe to comment, but you can be a subscriber for a second or a subscriber for 3 years just to comment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the donations as well. We'll put them up before we go as well. Shane came in with 3, I think. There we are. Bang, bang. I really appreciate that.
Shane's a great bloke, isn't he?
Richard as well with a £1 donation. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank
Richard's a great bloke as well.
Oh, top guy.
David.
Say again.
And Neil. David. They're all great blokes.
Oh, David, who became a member. Neil became a member. Thank you so much. Appreciate it as ever. Back live tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, League 2 live. See you in the next one. Up the Cods.
Up the Imps. Go.
Boom. Good show, that, mate. Well done.
We're still live, Ben.
I know that, mate.
All right. Okay. This is the additional time, is it?
Going into 2 is added time, yeah.
2 minutes.
We'll go to 1 minute 27.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 hour 27. Ben.
Yeah.
It's hard work. This
overtime.
Oh my God! I'm shattered.
Oh, me too, mate. Little by little. Look, to the person who wanted tickets just didn't get him, you could say the half the world away.
Brilliant.
Am I going? Definitely. Are you going? Maybe.
I hate you.
Do you want to have some lasagna for tea as well?
Do you want some lasagna?
Yeah. I thought it'd be 10 added after that, Birmingham. Look, we've not talked about Birmingham much on this podcast so far. Everyone will get their time. Everyone will get their time. Let's have a look at that. And we just got on about it.
All that Birmingham time wasting, and here we are.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for watching. Up the Cods. Bye-bye.
Up the Imps.